This melanin goes within the cell, form a cap around the nucleus, and once it forms this cap, what it does is that whenever UV rays penetrate into the skin, it tends to diffuse this UV rays away from the nucleus so that they don't penetrate into the nucleus and cause injury to those genetic material. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be looking at the effect of bleaching on the skin. But before we continue, if you're new to my channel, you're definitely welcome. My name is Dr. Ogo, and on this channel we discuss everything ranging from health, beauty and lifestyle. I hope you stick around and join our growing community by smashing that subscribe button down below. Also remember to put on notification bell so you're notified whenever I post new videos. And to my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for supporting me in this journey. I really do not take your gestures for granted. Thank you guys so much. So let's dive into this topic for today. But before we continue, I want to also say that I understand why someone might want to bleach their skin. I know we're in an era where it's either tribalism or racism or white skin privilege. So people have this pressure to want to change their skin color to something else. But whatever you're deciding, before you decide to actually bleach your skin, I think you need to watch this video to see the effect of bleaching on your skin. Now, from a medical point of view, there's actually no benefit of bleaching on the skin. If for anything, it just causes like a cosmetic outlook on your skin, but at the end of the day it tends to be more counterproductive. So having said all this, let's go straight into the effects of bleaching on your skin. Now, how does bleaching work? Now, ideally what the body does is that it produces a pigment called melanin. Now this melanin, the function is that it goes to your nucleus. Now from basic biology, we can still remember, we know that every cell has a nucleus, and that nucleus is where the cell houses the genetic material in that cell. Now this genetic material is what controls the activities and whatever goes on within that cell. Now these genetic materials are prone to injury when UV rays from the sun hit the cell, so they can cause the damage to the genetic materials within the nucleus. So in order to prevent this, what the body does is that it produces a substance called melanin. This melanin goes within the cell, form a cap around the nucleus, and once it forms this cap, what it does is that whenever UV rays penetrate into the skin, it tends to diffuse this UV rays away from the nucleus so that they don't penetrate into the nucleus and cause injury to those genetic material. Because once the genetic material are injured, their functions are lost, and then they can start proliferating. The cells can just start proliferating and growing so rapidly, and that is how skin cancers can develop. So in order to avoid this, what the body does is that it produces melanin. Now what determines the level of melanin that your body produces is genetically determined. So white skin people and dark skin people still produce melanin. The only difference is that genetically, people that are dark or dark skinned have more melanin because genetically their body has been programmed to produce more melanin. And sometimes when you go to places where you have high or hot climates, or where you have much exposure to the sun, your body will start producing more. And that is why you see the whites during summer, they try to go out to the beach and tan their skin. That is simply the mechanism that are trying to see if they can tan different areas to be a uniform color. So that is simply the basic idea behind that. So that is simply what your body does. So genetically, your body determines whether you have so much or very little of that. So when you have very little, you tend to be more fresh skin, and when you have much of that, you tend to be more dark skin. So having said all this, let's start looking at the various effects of bleaching on the skin. Now one of the effects of bleaching on the skin is that you can have mercury poisoning. Now some of these bleaching agents, which can be in the form of bleaching soaps, creams or even pills, contain mercury. Now this mercury can begin to accumulate in different tissues in your body. They can accumulate in your central nervous system, and the person can come down with tremor, where they start having shaky palms and just having different involuntary movements. They can start having numbness where they can't feel things again. It can even go ahead and affect the kidneys and can result in kidney disease many years down the line. These are not just immediate effects from prolonged accumulation of this mercury. This can still eventually occur. Other things that can also occur include dermatitis. Dermatitis is when you have inflammation of the skin. So you can see that the skin becomes red, it becomes flaky, and you start noticing that the place is just painful. It's just as if you're having skin burns. So these are all the things you can see when you keep using these bleaching creams on your skin. And those this point, I need to mention something important. Now, I know so many people are used to the fact that the bleaching agent in cream is hydroquinone. Now, because people, or rather the producers of this cream, already know that people are used to hydroquinone, they now give them their other alternative names. So somewhere on the screen, I'm going to be listing the different names that hydroquinone has. It can come as benzene 1 and several other names. So you can run through this check on your cream to be sure that you're actually not bleaching yourself unknowingly, especially when that is not your initial choice at the end of the day. Other things that are also effect of bleaching cream include blue-black discoloration. Remember I mentioned earlier that for you to either be dark skin or light skin, it's actually genetically predisposed, and when someone is trying to bleach their skin, what they are simply doing is trying to reduce the amount of the cells that are producing this melanin in the body. So you're trying to destroy those cells to produce less of those melanin, but genetically your body is already programmed to make you either light skin or dark skin. So if you're dark skin and you're trying to bleach, some part of your body will eventually show that this is originally what your color was meant to be. So places like your ankle can still show blue-black discoloration, trying to retain the original color you had, because even though you're killing off those cells, your body is actively trying to produce more of those cells, because this is not originally what the genes are programmed to do. So in such people, especially those that are trying to achieve a uniform form of light skin, you will see that maybe in their knuckles it will give away that this was not their original color. Other things you could also encounter is having acne. Now, some of this bleaching agent contains steroid, and steroid is very notorious for causing overgrowth of the glands under your skin. Now, this glands will produce a substance known as sebum. So this sebum is what gives you a kind of oil substances on your face. So when a lot of this sebum is produced, because they get so big and the glands get so big and secrete a lot of them, this can eventually clog up the pores on your skin, and this is how you end up developing pimples and acne. So it can be in form of white hairs, black hairs, or even reddish bumps on your skin. Other things you can also develop include nephrotic syndrome. Now, nephrotic syndrome is a form of kidney disease, and one of the notorious things that can actually cause this is that mercury. Remember I mentioned earlier that there is mercury in some of this bleaching cream, and this can eventually go on to affect your kidneys, and your kidney will start leaking protein, and eventually this might lead to kidney disease. Other things that you could also notice when you're using or actually bleaching your skin include when you start noticing thinning of your skin. Now, like I mentioned earlier, some of this bleaching cream contains steroid. Now, those steroids prevent the growth of your skin, so you see that your skin becomes very thin. So in people that use this, you notice that their skin is so thin. And why this is very important is when they go for a surgery or an operation, when they try to close up their wound, you will notice that because their skin is very thin, the stitches will stay, the stitches try kind of just break open, and then their wounds won't heal well because their skin is very thin. Also, because their skin is very thin, you will to start seeing the vessels under their skin. You start noticing obvious vessels under their skin because their skin is now so thin that you can literally see the blood vessels under their skin because of the thinning that is caused by steroids in those things that they are taking, even in form of cream or soaps or even pills, as the case may be. Again, other things that bleaching can do to your skin is that it can predispose you to having skin cancer. Remember I also mentioned that the primary function of this melanin that gives you a dark skin color is that it forms a cap around your nucleus, so that whenever UV rays comes in, it diffuses it away and prevents it from entering into the nucleus of the cell and destroying the genetic material. So once that is lost, UV rays from the sun can easily penetrate into your skin. They will destroy the genetic materials in the skin, and the skin will begin to proliferate out of proportion, and that is how you develop cancer. Again, these people can also have stretch marks on their body because their skin is so thin, it has lost its elasticity and it tends to just stretch out, and that is how you develop stretch marks. And lastly, when you tend to use bleaching cream for a prolonged period of time, at some point it can result to an irreversible skin damage that regardless of what you do, the damage is already done. There's nothing you can do to make you go back to your original skin color. So at the end of the day, it's just weighing your options, the pros and the cons, and deciding what best you want to do. Like I mentioned earlier, from a medical point of view, with all these that we've listed, there's actually no benefit or health benefit when it comes to bleaching of the skin. It's just like a cosmetic outlook that at the end of the day is more of counterproductive. I know this list again is not exhaustive of every single thing that bleaching can do to your skin. If there's anything you feel I missed out from this video, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end of this video. Thank you guys, I really do enjoy the gestures, and thank you guys for sticking true to my channel. Until I come your way next time, I see you. Bye.